All right, good evening. Let's pray. Oh, Creator of the universe, we're doing another Bible reading in your name. So make all the information be yours and tell the people what you need them to hear. Yeshua, help intercede for all of us. We pray in your name. Amen. Okay. So today we're in 2nd Chronicles. Nope, I lied. We're in 1st Chronicles still, finishing it up. We got chapter 28 and 29. And yep. And so hopefully the Father gives me the words that y'all need to know to get out of this what you need to get. 1 Chronicles 28. And David assembled at Jerusalem all the rulers of Israel, the rulers of the tribes and the commanders of the divisions who served the sovereign, the commanders over thousands and commanders over hundreds, and the heads over all the properties and possessions of the sovereign and his sons, with the officials, the mighty men, and all the mighty brave men. Then sovereign David rose to his feet and said, "Hear me, my brothers and my people. I had it in my heart to build a house of rest for the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah, and for the footstool of our Elohim, and have made preparations to build it. But Elohim said to me, You do not build a house for my name, because you have been a man of battle and have shed blood. Yet Yahuwah, Elohim of Israel, chose me above all the house of my father to be sovereign over Israel forever, for he has chosen Yehudah to be the ruler. And of the house of Yehudah, the house of my father, and among the sons of my father, he was pleased with me to make me reign over all Israel. And all of my sons, and of all my sons, for Yahuwah has given me many sons, he has chosen my son Shalomo to sit on the throne of the reign of Yahuwah over Israel, and said to me, Shalomo, your son is the one to build my house and my courtyards, for I have chosen him to be my son, and I myself am a father to him. And I shall establish his reign forever, if he is strong to do my commands and my right rulings as it is this day. And now, before the eyes of all Israel, the assembly of Yahuwah, and in the hearing of our Elohim, guard and seek all the commands of Yahuwah your Elohim, so that you possess this good land, and leave it as an inheritance for your children after you forever. As for you, my son Shalomo, know the Elohim of your father, and serve him with a perfect heart and with a pleasing life. For Yahuwah searches all hearts and understands all the intents of the thoughts. If you do seek him, he is found by you. But if you forsake him, he rejects you forever. See, now, for Yahuwah has chosen you to build a house for the set-apart place. Be strong and do it." And David gave his son Shalomo the plans for the porch, and its houses, and its treasuries, and its upper rooms, and its inner rooms, and the place of atonement, and the plans for all that he had by the Spirit, of the courtyards of the house of Yahuwah, and of all the rooms all around, and of the treasuries of the house of Elohim, and of the treasuries for the set-apart gifts, and for the divisions of the priests and the Levites, and for all the work of the service of the house of Yahuwah, and for all the vessels of service in the house of Yahuwah. Even gold by weight for utensils of gold, for all utensils used in every kind of service, for silver, for all utensils of silver by weight, for all utensils used in every kind of service, and by weight for the lampstands of gold, and their lamps of gold, by weight for each lampstand and its lamps, and for the lampstands of silver by weight, for the lampstands and its lamps, according to the use of each lampstand, and by weight gold for the tables of the showbread, for each table, and silver for the tables of silver, and clean gold for the forks and the basins, and the jars of clean gold, and the golden bowls, by weight for every bowl, and for the silver bowls, silver by weight for every bowl, and refined gold by weight for the slaughter place of incense, and for the pattern of the chariot of the gold cherubim, spreading out their wings and covering over the ark of the covenant of Yahuwah. Yahuwah made me understand this and all this in writing by his hand upon me, all the works of these plans. And Dawid said to his son Shalomo, Be strong and courageous and do it. Do not fear nor be afraid. For Yahuwah my Elohim, my Elohim, is with you. He shall not leave you nor forsake you until you have completed all the work for the service of the house of Yahuwah. And see, the divisions of the priests and the Levites, for all the service of the house of Elohim, and every volunteer of any skill is with you in all work for every kind of service. And the rulers and all the people are entirely at your command. So, this is almost like a will. To Shalomo. And whatever you need, the people will do it. You have all your gold, you have all your silver, you have all your resources. You just have to guide the people. And they'll get it done. Chapter 29. And Dawid the sovereign said to all the assembly, My son Shalomo, the one whom Elohim has chosen, is young and tender, and the work is great, because the palace is not for man, but for Yahuwah Elohim. And with all my power I have prepared for the house of my Elohim the gold for the gold, and the silver for the silver, and the bronze for the bronze, the iron for the iron, and the wood for the wood, shoham stones and settings, and fair stones of various colors, and all kinds of precious stones and marble slabs in large quantities. And also, because I delighted in the house of my Elohim, I have treasure of gold and silver. I give for the house of my Elohim even more than all I have prepared for the set-apart house. 3,000 talents of the gold of Ophir, and 7,000 talents of refined silver, to overlay the walls of the house. The gold for the gold, and the silver for the silver, and for all kinds of work to be done by the hands of craftsmen. Who then is moved to fill his hand today for Yahuwah? And the leaders of the fathers' houses, and the leaders of the tribes of Israel, and the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, with the heads over the sovereign's work, volunteered, and gave for the work of the house of Elohim 5,000 talents, and 10,000 derricks of gold, and 10,000 talents of silver, and 18,000 talents of bronze, and 100,000 talents of iron. And those with whom were found precious stones gave them to the treasury of the house of Yahuwah, into the hand of Yehiel the Gershonite. And the people rejoiced, for they had given voluntarily, because with a perfect heart they had given voluntarily to Yahuwah. And Dawid the sovereign also rejoiced greatly. And Dawid blessed Yahuwah before all the assembly. And Dawid said, Blessed are you, Yahuwah Elohim of Yisrael, our Father, forever and ever. Yours, O Yahuwah, is the greatness, the power and the comeliness, the preeminence and the excellency, because of all that is in the heavens and in the earth. Yours is the reign, O Yahuwah, and you are exalted as head above all. And the riches and the esteem come from your presence, and you rule over all, and in your hand is power and might, and in your hand to make great and to give strength to all. And now, our Elohim, we thank you and praise your comely name. But who am I, and who are my people, that we should be able to give so voluntarily as this? For all comes from you, and we have given to you out of your hand. For we are sojourners and settlers before you, as were all our fathers. Our days on earth are as a shadow, and without permanence. O Yahuwah, our Elohim, all this store that we have prepared to build you a house for your set-apart name is from your hand, and all is of you. And I know, my Elohim, that you are trying the heart and desire uprightness. As for me, in the uprightness of my heart, I have voluntarily given all these. And now with joy I have seen your people, who are present here, to give voluntarily to you. O Yahuwah, Elohim of Abraham, Yitzchak, and Yisrael, our fathers, guard this forever in the intent of the thoughts of the heart of your people, and prepare their heart toward you. And give my son Shalomo a perfect heart to guard your commands and your witnesses, and your laws, to do all, and to build the palace for which I have prepared. And Dawid said to all the assembly, Now bless Yahuwah your Elohim. And all the assembly blessed Yahuwah Elohim of their fathers, and bowed their heads, and did obeisance to Yahuwah and the sovereign. And they slaughtered slaughterings to Yahuwah and offered ascending offerings to Yahuwah on the next day. 1,000 bulls, 1,000 rams, 1,000 lambs with their drink offerings, and slaughterings in large numbers for all Yisrael. And they ate and drank before Yahuwah with great joy on that day. And they set up Shlomo, son of David, to reign the second time, and anointed him before Yahuwah to be leader, and Sadak to be priest. And Shlomo sat on the throne of Yahuwah as sovereign instead of David his father, and prospered, and all Yisrael obeyed him. And all the rulers and the mighty men, and also all the sons of sovereign David, submitted themselves to Shlomo the sovereign. And Yahuwah exalted Shlomo exceedingly in the eyes of all Yisrael, and put upon him such royal splendor as had not been on any sovereign before him in Yisrael. Thus David son of Yishai reigned over all Yisrael, and the days that he reigned over Yisrael was 40 years. He reigned 7 years in Hebron, and he reigned 33 years in Jerusalem. And he died in a good old age, satisfied with days, riches, and esteem. And Shlomo his son reigned in his place. And the acts of sovereign David, first and last, see, they are written in the books of Shemuel the seer, in the book of Nathan the prophet, and in the book of Gad the seer, with all his reign and all his might, and the times that passed over him, and over Yisrael, and over all the reigns of the lands. So, according to this, David was a great king, and he continued to make speeches and talk to his people and show the people how to obey Yahuwah, which was wonderful. And "40 years, transformative years, and then 7 and 33, which is even more perfect." So David was the perfect king. Kind of like, why can't you be more like your brother? We're also doing John chapter 9 today. And passing by, he saw a man blind from birth. And his taught ones asked him, saying, "Rabbi, who sinned, this man or his parents, that he should be born blind?" Yeshua answered, "Neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of Elohim might be made manifest in him. It is necessary for me to work the works of him who sent me. While it is day, night is coming. No one is able to work. While I am in the world, I am the light of the world." Having said this, he spat on the ground and made clay with the saliva, and applied the clay to the eyes of the blind man. And he said to him, "Go wash in the pool of Shiloh," which means sent. So he went and washed and came seeing. Therefore the neighbors and those who saw him before that he was blind said, Is not this he who was sitting and begging?" Others said, "This is he." Others said, "He is like him." He said, "I am." So they said to him, "How were your eyes opened?" He answered and said, "A man called Yeshua made clay and applied it to my eyes, and said to me, 'Go to the pool of Shiloh and wash.' And I went and washed, and I received sight." And they said to him, "Where is he?" He said, "I do not know." They brought to the Pharisees the one who was once blind. Now it was a Sabbath when Yeshua made the clay and opened his eyes. Therefore the Pharisees also asked him again how he had received his sight. He said to them, "He put clay on my eyes, and I washed, and I see." Therefore some of the Pharisees said, "This man is not from Elohim, because he does not guard the Sabbath." Others said, "How is a man who is a sinner able to do such miracles?" And there was a division among them. So they said to the blind once again, "What do you say about him because he opened your eyes?" And he said, "He is a prophet." However, the Yehudim did not believe concerning him that he had been blind and received his sight, till they called the parents of him who had received his sight. And they asked them, saying, "Is this your son, who you say was born blind? How then does he see now? How then does he now see?" His parents answered them and said, "We know that this is our son, and that he was born blind. But how he now sees we do not know, or who opened his eyes we do not know. He is of age, ask him. He shall speak concerning himself. His parents said this because they were afraid of the Yehudim, for the Yehudim had already agreed that if anyone confesses that he was the Messiah, he should be put out of the congregation. Because of this, his parents said, he is of age, ask him. So for the second time they called the man who was blind and said to him, give esteem to Elohim, we know that this man is a sinner. And he answered and said, whether he is a sinner I do not know. I only know that I was blind, now I see. And they asked him once more, what did he do to you? How did he open your eyes? He answered them, I have told you already, and you did not hear. Why do you wish to hear it again? Do you wish to become his tall ones too? Then they abused him and said, you are his tall one, but we are tall ones of Moshe. We know that Elohim has spoken to Moshe, but this one we do not know where he is from. The man answered and said to them, why, this is a wonder. You do not know where he is from, yet he opened my eyes. And we know that Elohim does not hear sinners. But if anyone fears Elohim and does his desire, he hears him. From of old it has never been heard that anyone opened the eyes of one who was born blind. If this one were not from Elohim, he could have done none at all. They answered and said to him, you were completely born in sins, and are you teaching us? And they cast him out. Yeshua heard that they had cast him out, and when he found him, he said to him, do you believe in the Son of Elohim? He answered and said, who is he, Master, that I might believe in him? And Yeshua said to him, you have both seen him, and he who speaks with you is he. And he said, Master, I believe, and bowed before him. And Yeshua said, for judgment I have come into this world, that those not seeing might see, and those seeing might become blind. And those of the Pharisees who were with him heard these words, and said to him, are we blind too? Yeshua said to them, if you were blind, you would have no sin, but now you say, we see. Therefore your sin remains. And this is like we're deceived by our senses. Like, we are blasphemously deceived by our senses. And we do not give enough credit to the Spirit. And it's really tough to see the Spirit outside of the physical realm. Because we're perceiving and we can touch, and it's like, but we don't need that which is before us. And so the Spirit is that which is to lead us. And the Spirit is what I find difficult about following the Spirit in that capacity is that people will just stand there as blocks, as we see the Pharisees do. They're like, no, you're wrong. And it's like, but you don't even comprehend that there is a spirit realm. Neither this man nor his parents sinned, but that the works of Elohim might be made manifest in him. It is necessary for me to work the works of him who sent me while it is day. Night is coming when no one is able to work. Fortunately, I'm blessed with seeing spirits very well. Unfortunately, this makes people who aren't very in my way. And very defiant and very blasphemous. And stumbling blocks. And so I had recorded this previously today and was out of order in doing so. And Those of the Pharisees who were with him heard these words and said to him, "Are we blind too?" Yeshua said to them, "If you were blind, you would have no sin. But now you say, 'We see,' therefore your sin remains." You're almost better to walk around blind if you want to do what Yeshua says to do. Blind and deaf, you're better to walk around. The Spirit knows, and the Spirit can guide you. It is sufficient to love the people of Yahweh, to exist among them, to be nothing, as far as this world is concerned, but to bow before the Master. Father Yahweh, you know our hearts. Connect our heads and our hearts, our minds and our hearts. Although we may not see, make us comprehend. Unify the body. Father Yahweh, there is one Elohim, and you are He. People of Elohim have the heart condition. They want to be there. And they want you to be there. They're not threatened by your authority. They boost you up, that the body may become stronger. Do not be a stumbling block to others, whatever you do. Do not be for your own greed of gain. See the body as a whole and bless them. There's so many places that you guys can plug in. Message me at dylanbibles.com. dylanbibles@gmail.com. We'll find a place for you.